So, I went to an EWW show once again. Now, for those of you that have watched the channel before, you guys will know what this is. It's a local independent promotion that I go to whenever they have shows. But if you don't know, EWW is Extreme World Wrestling. It is a UK-based independent promotion. And like I said, I go to all their shows. I went to Saints and Sinners. I had a great time. These videos are a lot more mellow. They're just me kind of talking about things, giving my thoughts, giving my opinions, and just kind of generally going over how I felt about the show watching it live. So let's get into it. So I'm not going to talk about the VIP experience yet. We will get onto that at the end because that ties in very nicely with the end. We will get onto it. I will talk about it. Do not worry. But I think we'll start off with merch and whatnot that I picked up on the show before we actually get into the show itself. I picked up this shirt, Jamie Winter's shirt, really cool manager, had to pick that up. Khaos merch, they finally had Khaos merch. Very funny thing they did with Khaos. I wish I had taken a photo of the stand, but they had like a stand of all of the merch. And there wasn't like any prices on it because obviously Khaos is like the creepy clown type dude, right? He hasn't run on everybody else's cash. It was basically just donations, right? So I got a pin badge that says I believe in Khaos, which is really nice. And there are flags, there are Khaos flags that we can wave around, which is really sick. You'll see footage of that. I also picked up this really cool El Jugador Jackie Hart card, and also Jackie Hart sunglasses, because I was like, why not, right? Like, I know they look goofy, like, look at it, I can't even, it's just all red, it's just all red. I can't see anything other than red when I'm wearing these, but hey, I had to pick them up. I thought it's too funny not to pick them up. And then I also got this poster. It's an old poster. They haven't updated it in a while, but it's one of those ones where you can get a bunch of autographs. So I've got that, and that will be going into my autograph collection. Got a lot of wrestlers I haven't actually had autographs from yet, like the Rebellion there. Damien, Blue She, we've got Alfie the Great as well, Bateman, oh, and Jake Purr as well, who's the MC. And now we're going to get into the show, because now that I've kind of gotten all of this out of the way, it's time to get on with the show. So the show didn't actually kick off with the St. George's title match. It kicked off, as it usually does, with Word of Nod now. Word of Nod, great band, really, really cool. I like them a lot, and seeing them there at every show has genuinely been really, really fun. Then Jake Purr came out and announced that, unfortunately, Roy Knight would not be there for the scheduled world title match between him and current champion, one of my favorite dudes, Grayson Dawn. A bit upset about that, but hey, you know, it was mainly about the fact I wasn't going to be able to see Grayson wrestle, but we will get onto that a little bit later. And then they announced that the next show, instead of being in July, they're gonna wait until November, and that's going to be Invasion of the Body Slammers 14. So about an 8-month wait for the next show. So that's going to be very interesting to see how they fill out that time. So we kicked things off with the triple threat match for the St. George's title. And this is when I knew we were in for a really, really fun show. Or at least I was in particular, because there was a group of people behind me. And hey, if by some odd chance you are watching this video, I want you to know that you made the night so much better. Absolutely fantastic people behind us. Insane comments. Corvus is no longer going by Brother Corvus or Corvus Kid or anything like that. His gimmick is now he is Corvus Kid No More, and he is actually working with Jamie Winters as a part of the Winters Elite. Very, very cool. Lupo is now back to being Lupo Lee. Fantastic wrestler, genuinely one of my favorites on this roster, and genuinely one of the guys that just absolutely gets it. And then the St. George's champion, Damien, who I have mentioned before as someone who I really like. Damien is someone who is prominently a fantastic wrestler and has a great look and great gimmick. It was a good match. I don't know if this was the right match to be the opener. Again, I'm not going to spoil too much of what happens if you want to go ahead and watch the show. I don't know when it goes on there, but they do have an on-demand service that I definitely recommend signing up for. I'm not sponsored or anything. I just want to support the promotion, so go ahead. It's a small amount of money every month, but if you want to go ahead and check out like all of their shows and everything like that, go ahead and check it out. And they also have a YouTube channel where they do one show every Saturday, Saturday Night Showcase. That's also cool too. So yeah, great match, the St. George's title match. 3 really good workers, and like I said, this was the match where I knew the people behind me were going to make this really fun.
Yeah! Let's go!
Let's go!
We want blood!
Yeah, so it's the women's tag match. Now, we have 3 people that I've personally not seen before, in the form of Destiny Davis and Luna Trix as a tag team. First impressions on them: Luna Trix is someone who I feel like is going to do very well if she continues to be a part of the women's division. I think she knows her role as a heel very well, and genuinely added a lot to this match. And then they took on the team of newcomer Mia Jones and Blueshie, who appeared a few shows back. Again, really good match. It was just sort of your run-of-the-mill heel versus face tag match. Very basic, but a good match nonetheless. Helped us figure out a lot of the characters and whatnot. Like I said, the big notes from that: I think Mia Jones is a great wrestler. I think Luna Trix is a great character. And I think that if they continue to build on this women's division, I think they're going to have a really solid women's division. We then have one other member of the Winter's Elite in the form of Titan, who has a guaranteed world title shot anytime, any place, taking on former EWW World Champion, losing the belt at the last show, Felix. Now, this was a very fun match, and the reason why I say that is because this match felt so much different to anything else that I've really sort of seen live. Like, a lot of the time you will see matches where it's very 50-50, and it's a lot of both guys looking good. And don't get me wrong, both Titan and Felix looked very good in this match, but it wasn't as 50-50 as you would typically expect from a match involving 2 very high main event talents. Now, given the story that they're telling with Felix, that made a lot of sense, and given the fact that they are building Titan up to probably become world champion, that also makes a lot of sense. Very fun match, very fun ending segment. I don't like spoiling the show, but I feel like I have to on this one. After the match, Titan won, and then after the match, because his daughter brought a Felix sign to the show, he cut Word of Nod off, because they played him to the ring live again. He cut them off, brought his daughter into the ring with the Felix sign, ripped up the Felix sign, and then proceeded to chokeslam Felix again in front of his daughter. Titan's crazy, man. Yes, this was the triple threat tag match for the tag titles. Southside Wrecking Crew of Q-Ball and Cyrus Shade. Fantastic team. I love these guys so much. Ryan Albright, unfortunately still injured. When he comes back, this group is going to get even better. But Q-Ball, Cyrus, fantastic tag team.
Wait, hold on. Is he going to do the face? Yeah! Let's go! Hell yeah!
We then have Eden, who are Sanctus, who is just off the rails, and Brother Matthew, who genuinely just looked like he was done with the world. And then the Rebellion, who are continuing to impress me every single time I see them. Great team, and honestly, if it weren't for the fact that Southside was in this match, I probably would have said that I wanted these two to win the tag titles. But, you know, again, I'm not going to spoil it, but I feel like the right decision was made. It was a very fun finish. I'm not gonna... I'll say kind of how they got there. So Sanctus is going off the deep end. He was abducted by Khaos a little while ago. He's gone absolutely cuckoo bananas. And basically, what they did is, because Q-Ball and Brother Matthew were bald, Cue put his Welsh flag on Brother Matthew so that Sanctus thought Brother Matthew was Cue. It was a very, very fun spot. And it's one of those ones where I was like, ah, okay, that's sick. Yeah, so we had the intermission, and then it was time for Khaos. And this entrance, everything about Khaos just works. And when you have something like this, when you have a gimmick and a character like Khaos, I'm just there like, they get it. And you're probably wondering, right? Like, you're probably wondering, what happened with Khaos? Well, I'm not here to spoil things too much, right? But Khaos flat out said himself that he's not here for wins and losses and to get the win over his fellow man. He's here to cause chaos. You know, he literally hid his striped baseball bat in his sleeve during his entrance. And then he took on Rabid Raccoon, who is, you know, like I said, he's basically me if I was going to be a wrestler, the black and green. He hits such a nice spear. Such a nice spear. Like, genuinely an insanely good spear. And this match was also what you would expect from them trying to build up Khaos. Fun match. Pretty interesting ending. And then, yeah, I believe that's when we get into the Lucky 7. Yep, that is right, the Lucky 7 Gauntlet match. So allow me to explain this. So it's literally just a 7-person gauntlet match. But the gimmick was that my guy, El Jugador, Jackie Hart, made everyone draw from a deck of cards 1 to 7. And whatever number you got, that was the entrance that you had. Jackie Hart got number 1, is genuinely one of the most over dudes on this entire roster. And that is not a bit. That's not me even joking. El Jugador is genuinely so over, and yeah, I don't often say this because not everyone can be champion, but they need to belt this man up like so soon. He's so cool. His character is great. He's over with the people, and when somebody's over with the people, you know, you've got to do it. Again, I'm not going to spoil too much. Well, I kind of have to spoil this one because of what happened afterwards. So, a lot of interesting stuff happened throughout this gauntlet. I'm not going to say too much. There is some Khaos involvement because one of his faction members, Calamity, was in this gauntlet. So, you do get to see Khaos in this match. But Sonam ended up winning this matchup from number 6. And then after that, Sonam called out Grayson to a world title match. And yeah, we ended up having an impromptu match of Grayson Dawn versus Sonam. And I popped the hell off at the fact that Grayson was going to be here. Because he was on commentary for the match between Titan and Felix. But I didn't actually expect him to wrestle. And I was just there like, hell yeah, because as we all know, I'm a big Grayson guy. And yeah, getting to see a Grayson world title match, I'm never gonna complain. And then we get into the big thing, the big talking point. And the reason why I wanted to save the VIP thing for the end. Extreme Warfare, Paul Ash, Philip Bateman, Bateman's last ever match, Philip Bateman's retirement match. And this was something that I didn't expect to have happen so soon. I haven't spoken about it on the channel, but we've known that Bateman was retiring at the show for a while, and we knew that this match was happening. But it's still, even now, after, like, what, a few days after the show, it still doesn't feel real, like, in a way. And this is a weird thing. Like, retirement matches on screen feel real, right? Because it's like, you know, they do a lot to make it a big thing. And obviously they, you know, I'm not out here saying that they, you know, did Bateman like any sort of injustice, because it was a very nice send-off. It just didn't feel real watching it live, right? Like, it felt like we were watching a match, and then I'm now waiting for the next Bateman match to be announced, even though I know that's not the case. Bateman was also the VIP. I got to meet him. I got to shake his hand, take a photo, all of that stuff. Really cool experience. And I also got his signature on here. So yeah, at least I have that. But it was a great match. Maybe not as violent or as vicious as people had expected from the match called Extreme Warfare, but at the same time, I don't think it needed to be. In a strange way, I feel like, given the history between Paul and Bateman, it just kind of made sense for the match to end the way that it did, and for the match to go the way that it did. It was a fantastic send-off. The post-match promo and all of that stuff was great. Bateman got a standing ovation because of course he did. This is a guy who has done a lot within EWW, and it's going to feel weird watching shows going forward without him actually, you know, there on the card. I'm just going to say it, right? If for any reason or by any chance Bateman is watching this, massive thank you. I'm not going to sit here and say I know your entire career or anything like that, but ever since you've come back after the pandemic, I believe it was from A New Dawn onwards, I think. I'm pretty certain that's how it rocked. I've always been a fan of Bateman, and yeah, like, seeing him win the world title again was really cool. Getting to see him in those high-profile matches was really cool, and, you know, hey, I'm gonna miss the guy. I really am, you know? Great wrestler, great talent, fantastic promo, and genuinely one of the best, like, main event guys that they had. So yeah, gonna be really interesting to see how they kind of fill the void that is Bateman, because he played a really, really specific role in the company, and with Saints and Sinners being his last match, you know, it's gonna be interesting to see who kind of fills that void, who kind of steps up, right? And yeah, that's really it. All in all, Saints and Sinners was a fantastic show, and I'm begrudgingly waiting for Invasion of Body Slammers 14. Usually I'd get my fix in 4 months, but unfortunately that doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Maybe that changes, who knows. But I definitely think it was a great show. I normally would say let me know what you guys think, but unless you were there in the crowd, or unless it's already on demand and you guys have already watched it, I can't really get your thoughts on this show. But as always, go ahead, check out their website, check out their YouTube channel, man. Hey, check it out. It's free wrestling. You get to see some of the characters. You get to see some of the promos from the olden days. You get to see some of like Bateman's old segments, some of the old segments from The Unknown. They're all on YouTube. And I think you get to basically see a lot of old stuff on their YouTube channel. And I believe you also get Invasion of the Body Slammers. Oh, Invasion of the Body Slammers 11 is completely on there. Either way, you can watch a full show of theirs on YouTube as well. But yeah, that's really it. More EWW videos here if you want to see my thoughts on some of the older shows I've seen. And yeah, YouTube thinks you'll really like this video, so go ahead and check it out. See ya!